Up next is Aurora, Heathens live performance.
She bargains with the
Okay, yeah, this is not a top cover.
Will come to her with no greed inside her mind. She knows what she deserves. We fell from sky with grace and landed in her soft and warm embrace. She gave her love, her gift of life, so we could live with her. That is why we live like heathens, stealing from the trees of freedom, living in the arms of freedom, and everything we touch is evil. That is why we live like heathens. The stone, the dirt, the dust, the unforgiving promise made to us, unworthy of your light, your God, your touch, or guided by the lust. We cry the fallen names, we cry for those you burned beneath the flame. We stand beside the good and brave, the broken and enslaved. That is why we live like heathens, stealing from the trees of freedom, living in the arms of freedom, and everything we touch is evil. That is why we live like heathens. Everything you touch will be ours. A mother with no heart will give Her love is yours, but only if you give your heart to
What the hell?
That is why we live like heathens, stealing from the trees of freedom, living in the arms of freedom, and everything we touch is evil. That is why we live like heathens. That is why we live
I'm impressed if that's all live. It's kind of hard to tell if all the production is live. Obviously her vocals are, like, that's all on the spot, which I think is really, really cool, especially because it has that nice kind of live sound to it. I don't think that slight reverberation is added in. I assume that's from it being live, and I like that sound, especially because it's so clear for being live, so their recording equipment is really nice, obviously. So yeah, her vocals killed it. There's some elements I couldn't tell if they were live or if they were overlaid. Like, there was some choir elements. It was like a backing choir behind her voice. I wonder if they're just off screen or what's going on with that, because that didn't sound like it was live. So I would like to see what the mix is between things that are live and things that aren't, if that's the case. If everything's live, that's crazy, because that sounds like production or studio quality stuff right there, which is, again, absolutely crazy if every part of that is live. It's even crazy enough, though, that her voice sounds that good live alone. My favorite part is definitely the production. The production goes crazy on this, especially when it picks up after the bridge. I thought that was really, really nice sounding. Obviously, as always, her voice is always really nice. I say that every time for good reason. I feel like it's not as catchy, though, as some of her other songs. It's more of like a vibe. Like, I enjoy my time listening to it. At the same time, though, I was kind of singing to it towards the end. It did kind of grow on me even more towards the end. Okay, maybe it is more catchy than what I'm leading it on to be. The chorus especially. Obviously, there's a lot of religious stuff going on here. I'm not really sure what she's talking about. This one feels more abstract. It's probably something once you know, it makes a lot of sense. Since I don't know off the top of my head, it kind of just feels very vague and abstract. But yeah, once you know, is what it kind of feels like. Like, obviously, the Garden of Eden stuff all makes sense. That's pretty basic religious stuff going on right there. So overall, I'd say that's a pretty good song. It's not one of my favorites from her, but this is a live version. Maybe I'd like the studio more. That's hard to say. Some of the instruments, which I'm pretty sure were like guaranteed live, because again, it felt like there was a mix of things that weren't and were. But some of the ones that felt live, they also kind of had a slight evilness to them. Just, it's something to do with the reverb of them being played in a more open area. Okay, let me word this right. So it's like these instruments being played live in like an open area with really good recording equipment. It has like a specific sound to it that just sounds so slightly off from what it would in studio that it's just enough to kind of give a slight eerie sound to it. I don't really know how to describe it past that. The background vocals are her vocals recorded, I think. That's what I was thinking as well, but I wasn't sure. Because I knew, like, pretty much immediately, I was like, okay, those either aren't live or they're somewhere off screen. But I was pretty certain they weren't live. And it did sound like her voice, but I could also just see it being a background vocalist since it was pretty quiet in the background relative to her own voice. So it was hard to tell. This song is about Eve. Yeah, that makes sense. But at the same time, some of the things that she was saying, it almost made me just think that she was talking about God. So I couldn't quite put my finger on exactly, because I knew immediately it was religious. And I did kind of go back and forth between, is this talking about God? Is this talking about Eve? I don't know. No offense to her work. I'm just drawn to her voice like a fly to a light bulb. Yeah, and see, that's fair enough. Her voice is just really, really nice. Not to sell short the production, though, too, because I think the production on a lot of her music is also really impressive as well. I mean, it kind of differs from song to song, but I think there's just a lot of creativity going on in her mind, and she's really putting it out really nicely in her music. It feels like it's just kind of a creative machine.